And today we're going to be talking about the consumer website or your KW agent site in Command. And what we're going to start with is we're going to take a look at the website itself. We're going to take a look at one that's already completed. And then from there, we're going to look at all the things that we need to do to get kind of put together to make that work. Okay. So to get to the consumer area, what you're going to do is on the left-hand side in Command, you're going to come down here to the consumer area and click on that. And it's going to take you to the dashboard for the consumer area. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Thank you very much for that, Jerry. So when you are in the consumer area now, you will see the dashboard, like I said. So we have the agent sites at the top, landing pages. These are the menus at the top, across the top of the screen. Then we have a guide builder, site and app settings, creating a new page. We've got some stuff over here. But right in the middle of the page, at the very top here, we see your configured agent site. Now, if you have not created your agent site yet, you're not going to see this. Mainly because you have to kind of pick a name too. So KW allows you to pick your name for that. So mine is already set up, and we're going to look at one that already exists. We're going to see what's in there, and then we're going to build that. We're going to kind of play around with it. Okay. So see your configured agent site here, and we're going to go ahead and click on it. Now, again, if you're working from home and you're playing along, keep in mind that if you're doing this for the first time, you're not going to see that. So just kind of watch my screen here. All right. So the agent website is also going to be a portal for your clients. So it's more than just a website for them to visit. They can actually create an account on your agent site. And so you have kind of an interaction with them. When they search for things, you can see that. When they log in and do neighborhood views, you can see that. So there's a lot of things that are connecting you to your clients. So it's more than just a one-way street. And one of the things that it's going to need to do is know your location. So tell your people that tell your contacts when they go to your website, have them hit the allow button on the notification for location so that it can kind of help them and guide them to properties in their area and based on their area. Now, you can see that my home page here, I've got a little accept cookies button down at the bottom. We'll go ahead and do that. So something really important to know is this picture that's in this background here, I put that in there. So you can make the background anything that you want. There's some limitations on size and things like that, but this text right here in the middle too, let it snow. I'm a real big fan of keeping the website kind of seasonal, if you will. It doesn't have to be necessarily seasonal. It could be anything you want it to be, but I update mine all the time just to kind of reflect what's going on. And I pulled a really nice picture of a winter scene here, and I made that in the background. Now let's take a look around the page here really quick to see what's available. So on the very top left, you can see that there's a banner here that says KW Coastal Lakes and Mountains Realty. This is the home button, if you will. When you click on that, it'll just reload the page here. If you look down in the bottom left-hand corner, I can't do both at the same time, but when you're hovering over that, if you look in the lower left corner, you see it says kwtechtv.kw.com. We'll talk about that in a minute. To the right of that is my little team icon. Now, I just made this team icon out of text and background color so that you can see it and it would stand out. But your team, if you're on a team, you can put your team logo up in here. So the middle section across the top here is blank right now. And then on the right-hand side, we have a feed button. And when you click on feed, I'm going to go ahead and do it now. What it does is it takes you to the Keller Williams feed where you can see updates to the save searches you or Keller Williams agent has created. Now, I am not logged in, if you will, to this website. You can see there's a login button here. But what this is doing is they've changed things around to show you now your consumer's feed. So when you have a contact and you're working with them on a deal, that maybe they're looking for a property, and so they're doing a buying opportunity, and you have set up some saved searches for them. You can give them this web address. They can click on feed, and then they can start searching, and they can log in and save their searches and use this as their home base and you as their agent. Now, essentially, it's the same concept as something like Zillow or House or any of those different places, Realtor, whatever. The idea is we are also offering the service where they can create this information, save this information, use this as their portal. So that's really a nice tool. That's automatic, and you don't have to do anything to make that happen. And I love that. All right. To the right of that is your menu. And I called it menu, and you can change the name of the wording here as we go through. You'll see what I mean. So I use the word menu to give people a kind of like, oh, it's the menu that you need to click to drop down. Normally, this is going to default to your name, and that's fine too. But I'm a fan of making it easy for people to use things. So I use the word menu, and later on, you'll see how that works. We have the home page, and then let's talk about the pages that you see here. So this is a website. This is not just a web page. There's multiple pages put together. They're all linked together. They're all living inside of this little domain called kwtechtv.kw.com. And these pages, you can have as many of them as you want, and you can rearrange them accordingly. So right now, mine are just set up with About Me, Contact Me, Download, Mortgage, and so forth. So let's take a look at one of the pages. Actually, I'll go to the home page first so you can see it. We'll forget the feed for a moment, and we'll do that again. So we go to the menu, and we see here About Me. So I'll say, okay, About Me. So this page has my bio and my information. It has my headshot, which is 5 points to Gryffindor for naming who that is in the comments and chat. So it has an About Me section here, Market Center Technical Trainer 463. So we know a little bit about me plus my bio. And then if we slide down a little bit, we can see here it says, have you heard about me? It's got that little section, the contact phone number, email, and then a contact card down here for them to click in and actually reach out to me. So there's a lot of contact information here. And then finally down at the bottom, a footer that gives more information, including phone numbers and my license number and everything like that. This is a kind of a pre-built page that you have some control over. Next up is the Contact Me page. And the Contact Me page is almost the same as the About Me page, but it's focused on just the contact form. And if you slide down, you see there's actually two of them here, and this is something we can control. I wanted two different ones here, so we can put these together. And then the other ones here that we are going to look at are the Contact Us, which is more of a business style page. And we're going to take a look at how we can utilize these things. But remember, the key to remember is we can make as many pages here as we want, and they can be addressing anything that we want to address. Neighborhoods, whatever. We can have a download my app page. We have these little abilities to create embedded objects. Basically, we can bury things in the website. This is a little JavaScript mortgage calculator that's available for free from mortgagecalculator.org, I think, online. And I will show you how this mortgage calculator works. And here it is, JavaScript mortgage calculator, mortgagecalculator.org. So we can actually add third-party plugins and kind of make this website bigger and more functional without having to do any of the coding. None of this required coding. None of this requires any kind of coding. You can, but you don't have to. Okay. So the next thing on this is just, again, going through some of these things. We have a testimonials capture page and a testimonials page. And down at the bottom underneath this divider, this is access to all of my social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. So if I click on this YouTube thing here, it's going to take you to the YouTube channel, and there you go. And it's just automatically there for you. So you can have links that take you to any one of those particular social media sites that you want to go to. So that's the menu. Now, on the right-hand side is where your consumers can sign up for membership to your website. And once they do that, they can use the login. Let's take a look at the sign up. The sign up is the exact same thing as if, by the way, you had put this together on their mobile app. So speaking of which, they only have to do one. If somebody has signed up on your mobile app using the downloadable consumer app for their phone, they've created an account. So if you tell them, hey, you can not only view that stuff all on your phone, But feel free to jump onto a website, go to my website, give them the address, and then log in, and you're going to see the same saved searches that you had on your phone. You'll be able to work the maps bigger. It's a little easier to work. It's very robust. Okay. So the ability to generate something like this that you can use as a home base for all of your contacts is really powerful. So keep that in mind as you use these tools, and we're going to look at them. Right now, let's go back into Command and let's start taking a look at what we need to get done before we build our website. Settings. So we're going to go leave the consumer area. We're going to go to our profile icon in the top right-hand corner, and we're going to choose settings. So when we choose settings on this profile, we're going to come down and take a look at some of the things that we need. Number one, of course, is we're going to need to make sure that our marketing profile is correct. And what is our marketing profile? If this is the first time you've heard this, I want you to go and bookmark a website, kwtechtube.com, which is our YouTube channel for our stuff here. And on that, KW TechTube, hey, look, we're live right now on KW TechTube. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you did, actually. So we're live right here. If I click on this, it's actually going to play me live talking to you. So wonder what happens. Look at that. Hey, look, we're live. We'll see how long it takes me to be me up on the screen here. What do you think? This is so dumb. I'm like a kid. Hey, check it out. Look at me waving at myself. Anyways, all right. So when you get here on this home screen, in the tabs across the top here, home, videos, playlists, channels, about. If you click the search bar here and you type in marketing, you're going to find our marketing profile videos. And the ones you want to look at is marketing profile. So let's slide down a little bit further here, and marketing profile. Where is it? Yeah, let's type in profile. There we go. Setting up your marketing profiles. So you can watch this video from September. I think that's the most recent one when we did that. And if you don't want to watch it right now, you can actually click the little three dots off to the side and choose add to watch later or add to your queue. You're going to want to know this. You're going to want to get this done. So back in Command, I'm going to briefly go through what this video is covering. So when you go to your settings area to access your marketing profile, on the left-hand side, if you click on Connect Settings and you click on Marketing Profile, it's going to take you to the page where you can enter all of the information that is going to be used not only for the website, but it's going to be used for your Facebook page. It's going to be used for your Instagram page. It's going to be used for any print marketing you do, any email campaigns that you do, anything that you use marketing. All of the designs that you create are going to be created using this information. So you're going to go through this and you're going to fill it out. There's that profile pic. You saw the things that I showed you on the website. There they are, all the way through. Don't skip anything. Try to get as much information in here as you can. There are some required fields and there are some optional fields. Do the most information you have. When you get it all filled out, following that video, which is going to walk you through all the things that you need to do, once it's all filled out, make sure you hit save. So when you hit save there, it's going to activate this thing. And then the last thing you need to do to make sure that we can move forward is you need to use my information to brand my agent site. You got to turn that on. And here's what's going on. All of this information, as I mentioned, is used for your marketing profile, for your social media, for your print media, for your email campaigns, for your Facebook ads. That's great. But to use this in addition to all of those things for your website, you have to turn that button on to activate your KW website, even if you don't have a name for it yet. As a matter of fact, there's a slot in here for your KW agent website address right here. So when you are building your website, you may not have that address yet, but you can always come back later on and put in your KW website here. And remember, this is important because you want this on all of your marketing materials. So after you've built your site, make sure you come back here and put that site address into the system. Okay, so those are the primary requirements that we need to have in order to build our website. Now let's talk about actually building it. So we're going to come back again to the consumer area. So you saw me go there in the very beginning. We're back here now, and we're looking at the consumer area. My site is already configured, but don't worry about it. We're going to do it as if we had created something from scratch. Now, currently, I have some agent site pages in here, and you see them. Forget that you see them here. Your area is going to be blank. We're going to build each of these pages. After you've built them, you can actually come back here and do some editing on them. So we can do some editing after we've created the pages. Let's go ahead and create our site. So here's the deal. It is a little confusing, so I'm going to slow down here right now for those of you who are doing this for the first time. Step 1 to create your site. All right? Step 1 to create your site is to click the Configure Your Site button. Configure Your Site button. Then choose the radio button. I want to use the new KW Agent Sites option and click Submit. And what that's going to do is going to start the creation process. Now, in my world, you see that it didn't go anywhere because I already have a site. All right. So I want you to follow those steps, and then you're going to skip ahead. Okay. In the video here, the step that I just did, I clicked on a button here, and I'll show you what I clicked on. I clicked on Site and App Settings. But remember, for you doing it new, you're going to click Configure Your Site. Mine's already done. So to work on it to show you how to configure your site, I have to go a little bit different. So I'm going to click on Site and App Settings. And when I click on Site and App Settings, I'm not really happy with this KW guys down in Texas, but it works this way. I'm going to click Learn More with Kelly Guides. You won't need to do this. All right. I'm going to click Learn More with Kelly Guides, and it says, which Kelly guide would you like to complete? And I'm going to click on Agent Site, and I will click Continue. All right. So when I do that, this is the page that opens up. Now, remember, when I said first to click on Configure Your Site, when you click that the first time and you say, I want to build a KW Agent site, this is what you're going to see. So you're going to end up here. I had to go a little bit of a roundabout to get here, but this is where you're going to end up. So what should I expect out of this guide? And I want you to just see this as being, here is your website building wizard. That's all this is the wizard to help you build your website. Now, at the top, you can see there's a little kind of like a path to follow here. And it's going to be, we're going to create a subdomain, the name of the website, style and theme, content, and then what's next really is the end of it where it says, all right, go visit your site. To start the wizard, we have to slide down. In my screen, you may not have to slide down much, but mine, the Get Started button is down at the bottom of the page, and we'll click that. You will have to do the compliance reminder talking about the inclusion of the Market Center Brokerage DBA. Take a moment to read this because this is all information that is in your marketing profile that we just talked about. Anything that's omitted from the profile is going to be omitted from your website. So make sure you fill it out with all the information so that this doesn't become a problem. Compliance will need to be notified when you complete your website before you start promoting it. They need to approve it. Now, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, when you sign on with us as a new agent, one of the things that you have to understand is that all advertising needs to be compliant. So compliance is going to be you have to notify compliance that you have a website that you're about to launch, and you want to get that looked at to make sure that it's in compliance. So with that being said, and by the way, that applies to your Facebook page, your business page there as well. If you're missing your logos, you can click on the click here to find those logos, or you can reach out to us here, and we have those logos on a Google Drive, which every morning in the morning news, there is a link to that Google Drive. I'll go ahead and click Acknowledge and Continue, and it brings me to the first page of the wizard. And before I go any further, I'm just going to scroll down and show you what this looks like. We have some stuff at the top that we're going to work on for the name. We're going to work on the pictures in the middle. We're going to work on what the kind of the middle text is here, and we'll take a look and see what the bottom text is. So when we're working on this, one of the first things we need to do is pick a name for our website. It's called a subdomain. And the reason it's called a subdomain as opposed to a domain is because you'll notice that the extension letters .kw.com, as opposed to, whatever the name that you put in there, .com. I'm not going to get into the minutia of this, but there's top level domains, and that's called the .com domain, .org, .net, so forth. But then there you can build domains within domains or subdomains. So we have one called kw.com, kw.com. So within that is where you're building your site. Why am I telling you this? Why do you need to know? Couple of things you need to know. Number one, your domain is not me as a real estate agent.com. That's not what you're going to be giving people. You're going to be giving them your name or whatever you call your website, coolrealestate.kw.com. And that can roll off the tongue a little bit stiff sometimes. So you'll want to kind of make sure that you practice it and enunciate it so that nobody goes to, mysite.com, because there's not going to be you. It's not going to be that. So the other thing is the names that are available inside of this subdomain are controlled by the .kw portion, which translates into there's better availability of names for you because it's just within our domain. So if you wanted to put robertvincent.kw.com, there's a better chance of getting that than there is robertvincent.com, which has been gone for years. And believe me. So when you're building your website, you can pick the name and 30 character maximum, no spaces, no special characters. If you change your subdomain, which you can do, the previous subdomain is now released and can be used by someone else. So if I lose kwtechtv.kw.com and somebody else decides to use it, I have to wait until they release it for me to be able to use it again. Now, once you put your name in here, you will need to click the confirm domain button before you move on, because that's going to check the domain to see if it's eligible. And if it is, it will assign it to you. And then it stays assigned until you change the name here. Okay. The next thing up here is the marketing profile. Now, the marketing profile information that you see in this area is quite literally coming from the marketing profile that we talked about in Command. So as you go through here and you look at the information in that marketing profile, if it's empty in any of these slots, you can fill it in, but it's not going to populate that information backwards into the marketing profile. So if it's empty here, you should really reconsider what you're doing. And instead of filling it out here, go back to the marketing profile and fill it out, and then come back here and it will populate through. If you change information in the marketing profile after you have filled this out, you will need to rerun this wizard in order to update your marketing profile on the web, because it is not automatic that, for example, if you change your professional job title in the marketing profile, it's not automatically going to change it on your website unless you rerun the wizard to update the information on your website from the information in your marketing profile. Hopefully that made sense. So down here we have your email, your office phone number. Remember, all this is tied to the marketing profile, so everything that's in here is coming from that. All right. Compliance legal footer links if necessary. We don't use them, but we do have the compliance statement. Each office is independently owned and operated. Then we have down at the bottom, we have legal footer images. We don't use them here, but some states do. Then we have imagery, which is your profile picture, which is the same from your marketing profile. So you can see that when I was talking about making sure your marketing profile is squared away, I'm not kidding. All of this information I don't have to touch because it's coming properly from the marketing profile. If it's all good, you can click Save and Continue. Now, when you do that, that little green flash up there said, congratulations, you have successfully kind of procured your domain. Mine was already procured, which really should tell you just in that one sentence that yes, you can come back here at any time and edit the information on your web page. This is editable. You just need to run this wizard in some cases, and in some cases, of which I'll show you, you don't have to run the wizard. You can just go into the edit pages. So now on page number 2 of the process, it says style and theme. So in the style and theme, it's not very dramatic. You get a choice of the red theme or the dark theme. Now, are you ready for what it changes? Check out how dramatic this is. Look over here. To the left of my KW team name is a red KW icon, right? My red theme is selected. Wait for it. Wait for it. KW dark theme. Ooh. Wow. Now that is very unimpressive. So you get a choice of a red KW or a dark KW. It doesn't change anything else on the page. I like the red. So you can choose the dark one if you'd like. All right, next up is the homepage text. You can see mine says let it snow, and here it says let it snow. And I'm going to change mine to done with the, no, I was going to say friggin', but I'm just going to say snow. And by the way, I was just reading the news. We are January 25th. So anybody who's watching this after the fact, we'll find out how it works. But apparently there is a very high probability of a nor'easter this weekend. And I am not looking forward to that. And what makes me mad about it is it's going to hit late Friday into Saturday, my day off. And like, really, I'm going to be out there again in the snow. Fine, whatever. So I'm changing mine seasonally to done with the snow. Let it sun. So you can put whatever you want in here. And I love the fact that we can actually change this, you know, for people that do lake properties, you know, home on the lake, camping properties, you know, come camp with me, you know, whatever you want. Make it fun. Don't just do search for a home. That's so boring. Have some fun with that. Now, I mentioned to you when we showed you the web page that I was able to upload my own background image. And that's what this here is, the upload a hero image. A hero image is the background to your website. This, by the way, is a placeholder, and it's not the image that I've uploaded. All right. Although I can click the preview button to do it. This little guy here has been the same since I started with KW. It's just a background image. You can put any image you want in here as long as it is a JPEG or a PNG. Extra brownie points for knowing what JPEG or PNG stands for. Recommended size is 1200 by 1200, essentially square. And then you can upload up to a total of 5 images like that. And it will automatically cycle through those images every time somebody refreshes the page. The upload button is here. So if you have them on your computer, you can just go ahead and click that and upload them. In my case, like I said, I only have the one image in my system that I've put in here. And if I click preview, it actually shows you that image. Now, if you recall, when we actually looked at the website, the image was much more cut off because although the image is visible here in its entirety, it does get cropped off. You may find yourself when you're doing this that you have to kind of like recrop the photo outside of command to get it to fit the way you want. Because even look at the small thumbnail on the right. You can see that most of the sky is gone from the thumbnail on the right versus what's visible here. So just keep that in mind as you go through. This is what it's probably going to look like rather than this. All right. So once you're satisfied with that, you can keep going down through the bottom here and choose save and continue. So when you click save and continue, it's going to take you to the next page of the wizard. And the next page of the wizard is page 3, customize your site's content. Now, this is a little bit kind of misleading because there's only so much that you can do here. And each of the things that are in the next steps are going to build additional pages. These are the default pages that come with a website. Number 1 is a company profile. Now, if you are a solo agent and you have a company called mycoolrealestate.com, and it's not based on you, robertvincentrealestate.com, if you're a solo agent, does it really make sense to create a company profile when you already have an About Me page? Because it's the same person. However, you don't have to use the company profile page. We can pass this page and not add it to our website. But we can also put it on our website if we are a team and we have multiple people. And this is what this section is for, is to put in like Sally Sue with a nice Sally Sue bio and a picture, and then Davey Dave over here with a nice picture of Dave and a bio here. So you can build a company page on this company profile builder. If you don't want to use this, you don't have to. And all you have to do is go down to the bottom and click skip. So if you don't want this company page, you can click skip and it will not put it on your page. But if you do want it, fill out all the information, obviously company profile. Maybe you would say, My Cool Real Estate profile, about our incredibly cool company. You have the name of the page here is about us. And that really defines for me what we're really talking about, us versus me. So anything that says about us is about multiple people. So hopefully you have multiple people that you're kind of talking about. If not, if it's an about me page, we have that page and we can build that later. And I tell you this because what I see a lot of people do all the time is they build this page thinking that they need to put this together for their personal profile, the About Me page on their website. And you don't need to. What you're looking for here is the About Us page. If you're into SEO descriptions, and I'll hover over the information icon here, you can add keywords that will optimize people's searching for you. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, woman business owner, a veteran, or maybe, cabin homes or whatever. So you can add information into the SEO dialog box separated by commas, and it will add that information so that people, when they're searching, it will look for those keywords. This is not an SEO class, so I'm not going to get any further into this because there are a lot of tools that you can use when building your SEO. By the way, search engine optimization is what it stands for. SEO is search engine optimization. So you're optimizing how you appear in searches. So read up on that before you fill this out and take advantage of it, because this is an opportunity for you to show up in searches by using this dialog box. If there's nothing in the box, it's going to go off of what's on the page, and there's not a lot on the page, quite frankly. So fill it out. Down a little bit further, we have an area for content. Now, remember, this particular page is built for a company, About Us. This is where this content would go. Headline, title 1. This is what that is. This is the description, and this is where you would enter it here. And you would continue to do that for all the sections. I'm going to skip the company page, About Us, if you will, and we're going to get to the next page of this dialogue. If you are interested in building more of a company page as well as an individual page, reach out and we can talk about it. But for right now, I'm going to skip the company page by coming down to the bottom and clicking on skip. So we're still in step 3. We're customizing our site, but this time we're doing the About Me page. This is where your bio is going to go. And by default, the bio that lands in here is going to be the bio inside of your marketing profile. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but when I showed you the marketing profile for me, my actual marketing profile, it was very small. It was not this robust and verbose. And this one has been changed. As a matter of fact, this is just gibberish text that I filled in here. As a matter of fact, this is, now that I see it, I know what it is. This is Microsoft Word's default text when you enter the random text generator. That is such a random set of words for so many people. Essentially, Microsoft just gibberish text. So this text I use to show how much information can be in here. There is a limit on the characters. So this hits the maximum number of characters, and you can adjust that here, or you can let it be the bio from your marketing profile, either one. And you can see here, we're working on the content. So we have about me, Market Center Technical Trainer. Have you heard about me? And it's got all the stuff in there. It's got my contact title. So contact Robert. It's right off to the side here. The contact phone number. There's the phone number and the email, which I'm going to change to my new email, which is command@kw.com. KWCLM.com, I should say. KWCLM. Ooh, dude, look at that. Look at me adding all sorts of kind of crazy stuff in there. Okay, so that is, by the way, notice that it updated immediately here. KWCLM.com. And then down at the bottom, we have our little team logo here and the legal footer. The legal footer information is coming from your marketing profile. There's my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, which is coming from the marketing profile. And I'll go ahead and click continue. Saving your work as you go is clicking continue. All right, customizing your site content. We're still on step number 3. This time we're on the contact us page. Okay, so we had the about me page, and now we have the contact us page. Now, do we need a contact us, or do we want it to read contact me? Depends on what you're trying to do here. So it's either going to be a contact me page, or it's going to be a contact us. And I want you to notice that what I just did was I typed in the page title right here. I typed in contact me, but it did not change or update it on the web page itself, on the design side. That's because the page title is actually what shows up in the address bar. That's the name of the page, not what's on the page. So this applies for all of the pages. Make sure your page title is correct, and then make sure also that your content area reflects what you're talking about. And here it says page header, contact us. And this is where we would change it to read contact me. And so now it says contact me. So we do have a contact paragraph, so we can actually put a nice little paragraph in here. I could do the same one I did before, or I can write something. Now remember, this is optional here, but it is an intro paragraph. If you want people to contact you, give them a nice reason. You know, I'd love to talk with you about buying and selling and blah, 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 whatever you want to say. And there's, talk to the marketing team here, marketing specialist, Alana, about what the wording should be there. She can use very smart wording choices that, again, impact search engine optimization. Even though they're not in the SEO dialog box, they can help you really kind of dig in there. So then we have a section here for a message, first name, last name, phone number, and all that. And we can actually decide what to put in this message box by using this little section called message hint. You're looking to buy or sell? What's your time frame? Where you're, giving them clues on what to write. This is actually really smart because a lot of people see a big open dialog box and they think, well, I don't know what to say. Contact me. That's why I'm pushing the button. Maybe you could say, tell me about what you're looking for. Tell me about the house you're trying to sell. What are you looking to buy? What is the area that you're most interested to buy your new home? Whatever, give them conversation starters to help them to kind of fill this out and get to you with good information. Okay. Last couple things on this page is the phone number and the email. And you can see down here that those are showing up. Again, the footer information is automatic and it's coming in here automatically for us. Again, save and continue to the next page. And on the next page, it'll take us to the what's next. That's it. We built really a total of 4 pages. We had the home page, the company page, the about me / about us, and the contact me page. All right. So those are the 4 ones that are in the wizard. But as you saw when I was showing you the website, there's more. You can build your own web pages, not from the templates, but from scratch. Now, that's a little bit more work, and it requires some creativity, some technical skills, and some forethinking to kind of like go ahead and project what you're trying to do. So a plan. And we're going to take a look at that now. So I'll go ahead and click the X in the top right-hand corner, and the wizard is done. Now, remember we changed a couple of the wording things. So I'm going to click on that website. Here's that done with the snow, let it sun. So this has immediately been updated on the web with my new information. And here's that picture. And I mentioned that it gets cut off at the top here. So you're going to want to play with the images that you use to see that they're kind of giving you the vibe that you're looking for. And I'll be honest with you, I moved this image when I put it in here the first time. It was way too big, and it took me a while to get to the image position the way I wanted it. So you have to kind of play with that to make it work for you. Okay. As I slide down, you can see that there's a section here that was not in the wizard. And these are what's called featured listings. So featured listings are listings that you can add to your home page in a carousel format that people can scroll through. And I think it's either 12 or 15. I'm not sure how many you can have. We'll see in a moment. The reason, by the way, that some of these are actually grayed out is because they are no longer in the MLS, because these listings are pulling from the MLS. So when you pull featured listings in, you don't have to build all this stuff. This will pull it in from the MLS. So the ones that are, like I said, grayed out, they're no longer available. It says not for sale. So it's graded out. I can't click on it. It doesn't take me to it. But the one that is for sale, when I click on it, it actually opens up an MLS dialogue about this thing. It shows you all the goodness, and none of this you had to build, you guys. Here, it's all branded to you. You can ask your agent. You can do all this cool stuff. All of it happens automatically. You get all that goodness just by putting in the MLS number. Okay, down a little bit further, we have the Interested Let's Talk and a send button there. So let's take a look now at creating or modifying some of the existing pages. So to do that, we're going to go back to our command interface, because right now we've been looking on the web interface. So back in command, we have at the top of the consumer area. So I'll click again on here so you can see it, consumer area. We have agent site pages, which are the site pages that we just looked at. This is a list of all the web pages on my site. Then we have a section at the top called landing pages. So I'll click on landing pages, and you can see there are 3 web links here that refer to pages that are on the internet that are not associated with our command website. I like to think of landing pages as separate from the website. They're not in the menu. They're not linked into the website. What they are is they're standalone web pages, flyers on the web. I every time I see these landing pages, I think of telephone poles with little posters blasted on them. You're really just reaching out randomly with a web page that you can plaster anywhere. An example of these is an open house. Building a web page, a landing page for an open house with information about the property and having that work for you at the open house before and after to collect information is a fantastic way to use a landing page. It doesn't clutter up your website. It can link to your website, but it doesn't clutter it up. And when the open house is finished, you don't have to go back through the website and do a whole bunch of work. You can just turn off one of those landing pages, and then it's not on the web. So it's putting up a billboard and then taking it down. Okay. So landing pages are really, really cool. And then we have a guide builder. Now the guide builder is bigger than what we have time for today. But what it basically comes down to is you have a way of doing business for people that are buying a home, and you have a way of doing business for people that are selling a home. And as an agent, you want them to know how you do business and what to expect from you as an agent. So what this means is you can build a guide for buying and selling that when they look at this guide, it's going to walk them through step by step for how it's going to be for them when working with you as an agent. So let's take a look, for example, let's take a look at the buying guide. This is the building page where we can actually work on it, but I'm not interested in doing the work on it. I just want to show you that in the buying guide, we have these little blocks, and these little blocks can be moved up and down, and you can reposition them and speak in your language, your tone, your voice, what you want to say about maybe that starting your search process. So maybe you don't like the words start your search. Maybe you like it to say something completely different. So maybe you wanted to say, begin your search. You can do that. You can create the text in any way you want. And I don't know why it keeps on bouncing me out of that. Hello. No, didn't take it. I don't know what's not taking it, but so no. So we can build the buying guide around the way that we work. So again, it's beyond the scope of what we're doing today, but the buying guide is something that your users, your contacts can have access to through their phone and keep them up to date on what's going on. So let's go back to the agent site pages. And I mentioned that you can do some editing here for there's the contact us page that we were looking at before. So we can view that page really quickly to see what it looks like. There it is, contact us. And we can also edit that page a little bit. So we can click on the little 3 dots on the right and we can click edit. And it's going to take us quite literally to the editor where we can make changes. Now, this doesn't require code, but it does require a steady hand and a purposeful hand, because you can drag out elements from the widgets area. And with those widgets added, I'll go ahead and add, I'll throw something right up here at the top. So I'll throw the contact form. It doesn't make sense to do it, but I'll throw the contact form at the top of the page. Oh, it's already on the page. What an idiot. Let's take team. We'll put the team up there. There we go. Meet the team. So this page, which you notice is not the same page that we saw in the About Our Company page. This is a different page that you can edit to show 2, 4, 6, 8 people, 2, 4, 6 people. So you can build a team of 6 people in here with all the cool information about that person, edit it, make it look cool. And now you have something that wasn't in the wizard and you can customize that page. Now, all of these little widgets are controlled very tightly. So when you click on a widget and you bring it out on the page, with it selected, you can configure that widget. So it'll say here, meet the team, intro text, and then you can bring in the team that you want it to bring the people for. So I'll click that and say, bring in Tristan, bring in Brittany, and bring in Robert. And let's go ahead and bring those people in. So it brings them in and puts their little bios, not bios, but their little images, and puts it all in there. Brittany doesn't have a picture in there for us. So it's really kind of cool, and it makes it so that you don't have to do a lot of the hard work to make that happen. Now, beyond that, I'll go ahead and click on publish page there for why not. Beyond that, there's some other editing things that you can do. So let's take a different page here. We'll click the download my app page and click edit. So here's the download my app page. I'm not going to do the heavy lifting here, and I only want to inspire you to think about it. But there is a paintbrush icon on the top right-hand corner that actually allows you to do some really cool editing of objects. And most people, when they build their websites, frankly, you don't need this kind of control. But they've built this in here so that you actually do have some pretty cool tools that you can use to customize the way your pages look. Don't go crazy. Trust me, don't go crazy. But at the same time, if you want to, spend an afternoon with a nice cup of coffee and play around with these things, you absolutely can. So neat tools to allow you to do that. I'll go ahead and publish this page here one more time. And I want to finish this out by saying that you can also create your own pages outside of landing pages. Remember, landing pages don't have anything to do with your website. So we can create agent site pages even without using this here. So we can click on the create a new page button and add something to our agent site, or add a landing page. So if I go, for example, on my agent site and I click on create page, I get a blank slate, which then I can bring out some information here and I can kind of put together whatever I want. So in addition to the widgets, and this is where it's going to get a little thick here for a second. So stay with me. I showed you that mortgage calculator. The widgets themselves are the pre-built blocks of content that you can put on a page. But if you're really kind of want to play some cool stuff, if you collapse the widget section down to get rid of it and go into the content blocks section, you're going to see image and text. If you take a text box out and put it on the page, this text box will actually run JavaScript. That doesn't ring any bells with you. What that means is we can insert code to have this thing do stuff for us. So bear with me a second. I'm going to open up a new browser and I'm going to go to mortgage calculator.org. Hopefully I've typed that in right. And in this website, which has a bunch of cool calculators for people to calculate their mortgage, you could just direct people here, but you can also use their widgets and put them in your website. So sidebar calculators, full page calculators, WordPress widgets, rate tables. So let's take a sidebar calculator. So here's an example of what it's going to look like. And this is what you can do to make it happen. And so each one of these little steps here, you're going to take this code and you're going to put that copied code into your website or use one of the different ones. So in this case, I just copied that code. I come back to my website and in here where it says text, I'm going to paste that code. And when I do that, well, that's a Zoom meeting. I don't know why they did that. That's funny. Let's try this again. There we go. So now that code is in your site. Boom. How cool is that? Didn't have to do anything. And now you have a widget. You have an outside widget. Now there are a few really cool sites like this that give you that kind of code. And they're pretty reputable. I mean, mortgagecalculator.org is not something that's going to be playing games. Be careful. And by the way, actually, I wouldn't even really worry too much because this is inside the KW domain. There's no code getting through the firewalls that's going to be bad. So this is cool. There's some really neat stuff that you can do in here. Play around with that and have some fun. Now, I took it to the next level by showing you these widgets and calculators, and I don't want you to focus on that. What I want you to focus on is getting the basic website built. So that means going through the wizard and getting the basic site built, and then evaluating what you would like to add to the website. And when you know what you want to add, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Alana, you can ask some questions about the how-tos, and we can take it to the next level. But focus on the basics first, and then we can build it from there. At the end of the day, you will have a site where you can have people log in or sign up to your site, and then they can use it. Now, I'm not showing you what it looks like when they log in right now, because that's going to be a separate class where you're looking at it as the consumer access to your site. So that's going to be something that's going to happen at a different day. But this is a really good, solid beginning to get your website running. In summary, make sure you have your marketing profile done. You're not going anywhere until that's done. Then go into the consumer area and run the wizard as I've shown you here to generate the shell of your website, those 4 pages. And then edit those pages according to your likings and focus on those pages. Don't just do it and say, okay, now I'm ready for the next thing. Focus on those pages and make them function the way you want, work the way you want, and then start sharing your website. Start sharing that address and then say, all right, now I'm ready to build on it. I want to get people signed up to the website so I can tell them, hey, go to the website, click the sign up button, and this is what you get. You get searches, you get saved searches, you get access to all these cool the informational pieces about the properties, and it saves having to do push people to an MLS or to another third-party site for information that you can host. You can have property information in here. So it makes you stand out as the authority, the trust one that people will go to. So do those things, get yourself ready. And then when you're ready for something a little bit more advanced, reach out and let's discuss what you would like to do. And we can start to make that happen for you. Sound good? All right. So we're going to go ahead and shut it down here. Again, I'll give you guys the contact information. You can reach me at command@kwclm.com. The YouTube channel is kwtechtube.com. Of course, you can reach me on my calendar at timewithrobert.com. The Tech Labs Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. is kwtechtv.com. Facebook training is facebook.com/mctt463. That's me. And of course, the powerhouse, the LMS, KWCLM Training, our learning management system, our portal to all the cool learning that you can get right here at KWCLM. Go check them out. Thank you very much for joining me here today. And we are off now for the week until next week, Tech Tuesday, we come back. We're going to be restarting the Command 101 series, starting afresh with DocuSign. So come back for those, and we will see you later.